We have ourselves some new information on Scream 6, as well as a brand new trailer for an upcoming movie called RENFIELD. Let's get into all of it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking about Scream 6, talking about a brand new image and some new details we just learned about the film, as well as a brand new trailer for the upcoming RENFIELD, a horror comedy all about Dracula. Before we get into all of this though, if you guys can like this video and subscribe, old Jake here would be very appreciative of that. Now there has been a lot of crazy horror news as of most recent. We just got some new updates on Bo, which is a brand new movie from Ari Aster, the director of Hereditary and Midsommar. Apparently the movie now comes out in April alongside Evil Dead Rise. Michael Giacchino is also doing a remake of Them, like that crazy giant ant movies from like a long time ago. Michael Giacchino is awesome. He's responsible for some of my favorite film scores, as well as directing the only Marvel project I've actually had somewhat of an interest in the last year. So your boy will definitely be seated whenever that puppy comes out. Talking a little bit about the RENFIELD trailer that just came out though, honestly, this looks really funny. I'm very excited for it. I love the dramatic irony in this therapy session from the very beginning of this trailer. It is very funny. I thought that was hilarious, some of the stuff that he was describing that obviously the rest of the group doesn't really have that much context on. Oh, he wouldn't need to snap. Like, that's hilarious. I love it. Dracula saying that he wants a bus full of cheerleaders is very creepy to me, though. I will say that. The dude's like 600 and all of them are probably like 16. Ugh, pretty gross, dude. I also loved the Edgar Wright style fight sequence we get with Renfield, played by Nicholas Hoult, who is fantastic, by the way. It reminded me a lot of like Baby Driver or At World's End with some of those fight scenes. I really dug it. It looked cool. Awkwafina and Nick Cage look like they're also going to give some great roles here as other main characters. I don't know, man. I'm really pumped for this movie. It looks like it's going to be a really fun and goofy time. The funniest thing about the trailer to me, though, is that the one guy who's leading the group kind of tells Dracula to come on down like that, and then Nicholas Holt's just like, no, don't do that, and then he can walk in because he had to invite vampires in. Very funny to me. That really caught me off guard. I am very excited for this horror comedy. I mean, Nick Cage is Dracula. How can that go wrong? It's going to be awesome. But I am longing for a scary vampire movie again. I think a lot of people got sick of vampires after like the thousands and the 2010s, but I'm kind of longing for another film that feels like 30 Days of Night. Vampires are scary, man. Let's do some more vampire stuff. I don't know. Maybe people are sick of it, but I'm down for another vampire movie. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I like bloodsuckers, man. What can I say? The film comes out on April 14th. Make sure to check this puppy out. But now getting into the update that I'm sure most of you probably skipped ahead towards and skipped over that other piece of news that I was just talking about, but hey, that's fine. Let's talk a little bit about Scream 6. So a brand new picture got released in an article yesterday of Ghostface that is apparently during the opening scene. This was recently confirmed by viewer Anon. Yes, a third-party source, but somebody I personally trust. It's a dope shot of Ghostface at an up angle with some New York buildings in the background, and I don't know, I think it just looks sick. Replying to Universal Horror's tweet about the new image, viewer Anon said, "Not fake, this is from the opening scene." This has me really excited to think that the opening scene of Scream 6 is maybe going to be just a chase scene down a New York alleyway at night.
Look at me, I'm swabbing the bathroom. At night. Ow! I burned my hand! At night.
That is effing terrifying, man. I love that. That sounds like it's gonna be awesome. The real question, though, about this opening scene is, who is getting stabbed? Ooh. Another thing to add to that, too, is that I really think someone is going to get stabbed and killed in the opening. They're not going to pull a Tara on us again. As much as I love the opening scene for Scream 5 for doing a little fake out, kind of breaking the formula that they usually have for these movies, I'm kind of longing for another death in the opening scene. A lot of my friends who I stream with have said many times that the more you watch Scream 5, it kind of loses its luster. I personally disagree with that, except for the opening scene. It's the only scene in the movie where I'm like, this just isn't as good as some of the other opening scenes we've gotten in the past. I personally think that Scream 5's reveals and some of its kills are some of the hardest to watch in the entire franchise. I'm highly anticipating some kind of gnarly kill in the opening scene here, and from this image alone, it looks like it's gonna be sick. Now, I know I've already said this, but whenever I'm talking about third-party sources, I just like to remind my audience to take this with a grain of salt. It may or may not be true, and that's kind of what a lot of today's video is about. But it's food for thought, and I like talking about it, so we're gonna get into it. Universal Horror tweeted out news on Scream 6. It'll last 118 minutes total. Courtney Cox is an executive producer. Kirby will have a limited presence. The trailer will be out very soon and will have an R rating in the US. The only reason I'm reporting on this is because when another Twitter user asked viewer Viewer Anon if this is all accurate. Viewer Anon responded with, depends on how you define limited presence. I believe Kirby's in it at least as much as Gale was in Scream 5, if not more. Now, I've seen Viewer Anon respond to other tweets basically just slamming the information, saying like, yeah, none of this is true. Here, he really only corrects one thing, so that kind of makes me think that the rest of this stuff is actually true. Once again, take it with a grain of salt, but I think we actually might be seeing our full-length Scream 6 trailer real soon. It would make sense since the film comes out in 2 months. Honestly, we could be getting a trailer at any point now, so stay on the lookout for it. The one thing about this tweet that is 100% confirmed though is that Courtney Cox, yes, will serve as an executive producer on this film. This bodes really well for the film to see that the actors want to be heavily involved with it, meaning they have faith in the project. Obviously, this is something a lot of us have been worried about with the absence of Neve Campbell and all of this stuff that happened behind the scenes with her in the studio, and it all sucks. Despite all of that though, I still think we're gonna get a really good product here. We're getting a Radio Silence vision of Scream opposed to Radio Silence pretending to be Wes Craven doing Scream. Ultimately, I see that as just becoming a better product. You're simplifying things and you're just having Radio Silence do their own thing with this series. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Kirby's limited presence in this film, which Viewer Anon actually corrects and says that Kirby will have even more screen time than Gale did in the last film. This was something I was worried about with the film because I didn't want them to just bring Kirby back to be like, hey, Kirby's gonna be in the new movie, come buy a ticket and watch our movie so that we make money on this thing. I was really worried that maybe they were just bringing Hayden Panettiere back because she's a fan favorite character, and of course that would put butts in seats, which is what movies need to do to make money. But I feel like there's a better way to do this, to incorporate Kirby into a story where she's actually useful and not just there for fan service, because in my opinion that would suck big old nasty hairy testicle sacks. Also, why would you want to waste Hayden Panettiere in just a fan service role? She can do so much more as an actress. She is incredible. Knowing that she probably has a bigger role in this upcoming film bodes really well for the movie, meaning she actually has something to do and she's not just showing up and being like, I'm Kirby, what's up? Let's do this thing. I would just see that as a total waste of a lot of talent. So what do you guys think about all this upcoming horror news? Are you excited for Renfield, which we just got the trailer for today? Are you excited for Scream 6, where we just got a brand new image for it? Are you excited to see Kirby back on the big screen in a new Scream film? All of that was really tough to say, let me tell you. Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this brand new horror update video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. Please consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.